Hi, this is Copy and Image Lesson Part 2. We left off with having drawn the car body. Next, let's look a little bit at the hardware. Click on the car body layer in the Layers palette, and then go up to Edit, and click Select None. We want to make sure we don't have any points selected. And now back in the Layers palette, click on the new layer icon, choose Vector, and name this Hardware. You can easily get away with drawing all of the hardware for the car on this one layer, and it is pretty self-explanatory. You can see here this would just basically be an oval. So you can click on the Draw Shape tool, choose Oval, whatever color you might want this to be. Let's say I choose some kind of a gray for that door handle, click OK. Start out with some kind of small oval there, and then I might want to make adjustments, such as getting that stroke line a little thinner by changing the width over here in this field, and then also clicking back on the Transform Points tool, and I'll zoom in. I'd probably want to move it and maybe point by point reshape it a little bit, or maybe even change it to a little curve like that. So that seems pretty basic. You should be able to figure out how to put all your little hardware pieces on there, the headlights, the bumpers, and so on. Again, making sure I deselect all my points right here, Edit Select None, and then while I still have the hardware layer activated in the Layers palette, click on New Layer, Vector, and let's type in Doors. Again, it's important that we put these different pieces on different layers, or else you'll have so much harder of a time constructing this object. Keep this in mind when you do the assignment that you'll be handing in, that the more layers that you have for different pieces, the easier your life is going to be. Now, for example, let's say I just want to make this door right here. I could start out, draw shape, rectangle. I can fill in the basic shape and then make modifications. I know I don't have the right color yet. That's something that can be dealt with later. I'd probably need to add a point in here to get this curve. So I can just go over here to the tools, click on Add Point, click right here along this line, and pull in. This point I can move, clicking on Transform Points, grabbing this point, and moving it over. So you can see that wasn't too much to deal with at all. Keep in mind, looking down here in the Layers palette, that the doors will need to go on one layer below hardware, obviously. Remember, think of it as stacks of paper. So I would just click on the doors and pull it down here below hardware, but above the car body. Now I zoomed out, and if you look at it, you can see that you can create another layer for the windows, and then just use basically that same method. Either start out with a rectangle or do it point by adding point by point the same way that you did when you drew around the body of the car. Now let's focus on the tires, and I'll show you how it can be beneficial to put a folder within a folder. Click on the new layer icon and choose Bone and name this Tire. Click on New Layer, Vector, and put Tire 1. Now we need to take this vector layer, drag it into this bone folder. Click, drag, release. With this Tire 1 layer selected, go over and choose the Draw Shape tool, the oval. Let's pick a color, perhaps a dark gray. Click OK. I'm going to go over here, point what would be the center of this tire, and hold Shift and Alt so that I can draw from center and have a perfect circle to start out with. Let me click on Transform Points now so that I can maybe center it a little bit better. Obviously, you could take this and reshape it point by point. If you wanted, you can see that the drawing, this cartoon drawing, has sort of irregularly shaped, wobbly looking tires. So you can do that if you want to. But let's move on for now, looking back over here in the Layers palette. we're going to put another layer in here for this part of the tire. New layer, vector. We could call it rim, whatever you want to name that inside part. Again, we're going to make another oval shape, perhaps a different color, and you can pick whatever color you want. Click OK. I'll hold Shift and Alt again and get that positioned. It's probably not quite big enough. Let me do one more and then I'll show you the benefit of this folder within the folder. So here, let me see if I click on New Layer Vector, name this Cap, and I'll choose some other color, click OK, draw shape, oval, and this little thing in here. I think I'll turn off the image of the car. So here's what I've got for a tire. All these pieces of this tire are inside this bone folder. Let me close that up. So I need two tires, right? All I have to do is have this selected, go up here to duplicate, and now I have tire 2. So then I can just click over here to transform layer icon and drag the copy. Now the car was drawn a little lopsided, so I could move this up, or I could even just make adjustments to the bottom of that car body. Level it off if I want to. So you may find it very useful in drawing your images for this assignment to have folders within a folder of multiple parts, things that are layered on top of each other. It does make your life a whole lot easier, trust me. Now there's no need to finish the work on this car. This was just for practice so that you could see how to work with these techniques. The next short video will show you how you will save these images so that you can upload them to the project discussion for the week. So after you finish the third video in this lesson, then you can just check your assignment instructions to see what you'll need to draw to hand in.